Hello kids, welcome to the class. Today we will be doing the lesson number 2, adaptation in plant. Before starting this lesson, we need to clear out the two things. First, habitat. What does a habitat means? Habitat means a particular place where the living things can grow. For the different types of habitat are, for example, desert, plain, mountain. These are the different habitat where a living thing can grow. Now coming to the adaptation. Now, what is the adaptation? Adaptation is a special features developed in a living thing to survive in a particular environment. So, now shall we move to the our lesson first page? This part we have done, it's a quick revision of the things that we had done in the fourth standard, right? First, come to the rose plant. A rose plant has a thorns on it. Why? Yes, as you we have discussed in the standard 4, the rose plant has a thorns to protect itself from the animals. Clear? Now there's a one more picture, that's a water lily. Now the leaves of the water lily do not get wet. Why? The leaves. This also I think we have talked about it. The leaves of the water lily have a waxy layer on the top, and this waxy layer helps to slide off the water, and the water lily will not get wet inside the water. Instead of being inside the water, the leaves will be always dry. This waxy layer will keep it dry from the water. Now coming to the third picture, there's a third picture of an aloe vera plant. Now the aloe vera plant does not need much of water. Yes, because here the leaves are in a shape of a stem. It's just the leaves are very thick in a shape of a stem. Now these leaves store enough water for the plant. Now when we cut these leaves, you might have seen, your mama might be using, when she uses the aloe vera, she cuts it from the middle. When we cut it to the aloe vera from the middle, we will find a jelly like structure. So this water is available, it's already stored inside the leaves of aloe vera. Clear? Now coming to the adaptation. As I told you earlier, adaptations are the special features in the structure or a behavior of a plant or animal that help to survive in its habitat. So habitat is a particular place where the plant or animal will live. And the adaptation is a special features that will help the plant and animal to be comfortable and live properly in that particular habitat. Clear? Now according to the habitat, the animals are categorized, the plants are categorized into the two parts. First, the terrestrial habitat, and other is aquatic habitat. The terrestrial habitat are the plants that are grown on the land. For example, there are many trees, mango trees around us. You can see lots of trees. So all the plants that grow on the land are called terrestrial, and the plants that grow in the water are called aquatic habitats. So for example, we have a water lily, lotus, all these are the aquatic habitat. Today we will be discussing about the terrestrial habitat. That's a page number 33. Terrestrial habitat. The terrestrial habitat includes the different forms of the land that is found on the earth. So we have the forest cover, we call it a plain. Then we have the desert where it's hardly rains. Then we have a grassland. Then we have a mountain and the marshy regions. Clear? So now coming to the first kind, that is the forest. Forests are the place. Now the mostly the forests are developed and the plants grow. Lots of plants grow in the forest, we know. Now the plants are formed in large quantity in the forest. Now these plants will grow well when they will get more of the rainfall. So the mostly we can find the forest cover in the places where it rains a lot. So especially the tropical rainforest. Yes, everybody knows the Amazon forest. Now it's called a lungs of the forest. Now these are the tropical rainforest. Here the leaves will also have a special adaptation. The plant will have a special adaptation. The root will also have a special kind of roots. The trees growing here will have a special adaptation to survive in a rainforest. Now as you know, from the topic only you can know rainforest. So it means it is raining a lot. Now due to the lots of rain, what happens? The fungi and bacteria grow very quickly as the atmosphere is wet. There is lot of moisture in the air. the temperature is high, so there is a lot, the development of fungi is very quick in this region. So the leaves here will have a waxy layer. So the leaves growing in the rainforest will have a waxy layer that will prevent the development of fungi. Then one more adaptation the leaves have. The leaves have a pointed and a waxy layer, clear? Then the buttrose, coming to the roots, you can see in the picture. Now these roots. Now these roots are the buttrose roots. Now these help the plant to hold its strength firmly in the ground, as the roots are not very deep. So to give the support to the whole plant, it develops a small, the different roots, that's called a buttrose root. Clear? Now there's a one more adaptation. Some plants, this we have done the climbers. In the rainforest, as the crown of the trees is very big, hardly some sunlight reaches the bottom of the plant. So here the plants growing under the climbers and creepers were to grow, they need a sunlight. So what this liners will do, liners are one kind of a climber. It will climb to the nearby plant and it will move to the top of the crown to get the sunlight. So the some plants in the tropical rainforest will climb the other plants to get the sunlight. Again, the one more adaptation these plants will have. This, that is a bark, what we call the middle part, the brownish part that you can see above the root. Now this root, above the root there is the brown part that we call the trunk. Now these bark of the tree are very smooth. If you go to and observe the plant in your neighborhood, what will have, if you take a neem tree, the neem tree will be having a very rough surface, whereas these plants will have a very smooth surface. The bark of these plants will be very smooth. Why? To slide off the rain. So clear? The tropical rainforest, the plants in the tropical rainforest will have, the first adaptation is the plant will be pointed and they will have a waxy layer to prevent the growth of fungi and bacteria. Then the roots, buttrose roots will help the plant to hold the plant firmly in the shallow soil. Now then the plants will climb, certain plants will climb the other plants to get the sunlight, and the smooth bark will allow the water to slide off quickly. Clear? Now there is another one more variety of terrestrial plant. That's a place where it's a lot of cool, it's totally frozen. Yes, that's a tundra region. The tundra region is cold all the year. Now here, due to the snow, mostly the certain surface of the earth over here is totally covered with the snow. So the layer of the soil is always throughout the, it's covered with the snow. So it's called a permafrost. Now due to the, as we know, the plant needs a temperature and everything for to grow. As the temperature here is very low, and the nutrition and the soil is always covered with the snow. So here we will not have the big trees like the rainforest. Here the trees growing will be of very small in size. So come to the whole last arrow on the page number 33. The major plants that grow here are mosses, grass and sedge. Now this tundra region also has a certain kind of adaptations. The plants are small in size and they will be growing close to the ground. They will not grow big. Why? Because the soil does not have a lot of nutrients. And the next adaptation is what? The plants here are dark in color. Why? Dark green in color. That means they have a more chlorophyll, and as we have studied in the 4th standard, the chlorophyll traps the sunlight. So the more of chlorophyll helps the to absorb more heat from the sun. Now coming to the next adaptation. The plants are covered with the hairs which keeps them warm. So you might, all of you have seen the yak in the cold region, right? Now what does the yak has on its body? It has a long furs. In the similar way, the plants growing in the cold places or very cold places like tundra region will have the hair-like structure which will help the plant to keep warm during the cold winters. Now coming to the last adaptation. Now here the what will happen, the plants will not grow at a distance. All the plants will grow in a clump. Clump means what? A group. For example, if we go to a desert, what will be there? One plant is here, another is here. All the plants are scattered away from each other. But in tundra region, what will happen? All the plants grow in a group to protect each other from the wind and cold. Clear? Now coming to the one more variety. Now this is cold place, but here the winters are cold and summers are a little bit warmer. Yes, that is a taiga region. The taiga region is also known as a boreal forest. Now it is also known as boreal or a snow forest. It is dominated by coniferous. Mostly the trees found are here in conical in shape. Everybody knows one that we use it in a decoration. That's a Christmas tree, right? That is also one kind of this plant only. Now the plants growing in this habitat will have a cone in shape. Why? Because this region get a less rainfall, they have a more of snowfall. Now to slide off the snow, this conical shape will help the snow to slide out at the bottom very easily. Now the taiga has a cold winters and warm summers. Some parts of the taiga are permanently frozen also. Now here the first adaptation that the plant will have. Many trees have a needle-like leaves. Now here, as I told you, it snows very many times. So what happens if the leaves are broad? The plant will not be able to survive in that particular place. So to survive in that particular place, the leaves are modified into the needle-like structure. So with this, the snow can also slide down, and it prevents the loss of water also. So you have done that, the process of transpiration in standard fourth, right? Now coming to the one more adaptation. There is a waxy coating on the needles which prevents the evaporation of water. The extra water is not removed out, and the needle shape will help the snow to slide out and prevent the transpiration, and the more of water is also not given out by the evaporation. Now coming to the one more. Again, these plants will be of dark green color. Why? Because the dark green color means more chlorophyll, and that way means they will be able to absorb more heat, and the plants can survive in a that cold region. So clear? This was we had discussed about the tundra region that was totally completely covered under the forest throughout the year, and it was called a permafrost. Then we had talked about the taiga region. In the taiga region, the winters are cold and the summers are a bit warmer. So these were the plants growing in these regions will have a different adaptation. Clear? Now we will be moving to the next one more nice beautiful place. That's a place of sand. There's a lots of sand around. Yes, it's a desert region. Now here, can we find out the same tree that grows in the plain or in your nearby areas? No. The desert has a very dry climate. As you know, it's hardly rains in the desert. So the atmosphere is very dry. The air does not have a moisture. The soil also does not have a lot of water contained in it. So here the plants will develop a special features accordingly. Now coming to the first adaptation. Here the mostly the plants that will grow is a cactus or a prickly pear. Then why? Because these plants have some special features. They have the thick stem. Here, if you have observed the thick plants, here see, you can see a cactus. These cactus, they don't have the much of leaves. The leaves are converted into the spines. Why? To reduce the rate of transpiration, to save the water. The leaves are converted into the needle like structure. Clear? So and the stem, and mostly the food production, that is the which was done in the leaves. Now these functions will be carried out by the stem. The stems are thick, and the stem only mostly carries out the food production. They have the thick stem that can store lot of water, and this water can be used when there is a lack of water or the water is not available. Again, the desert plant has a very long roots. Why? Because the water is not available easily. So this root has to go deep down inside the search of water. So the next, the plants, these plants have the thorns instead of leaves. So thorns means what? Catis, everybody knows. So instead of leaves, they will have the thorns. That will reduce the loss of transpiration, and the plant can grow with the very less water. And one more benefit is that the plants, other animals will not eat this plant, and these thorns will protect the plants from the attack of animals also. Then as these plants have no leaves, the stem prepares the food. I told you the thick stem will carry out the function of making the food for the plant. Clear? So the desert plant also has a lot of adaptation. The first adaptation was the stem is thick and it stores the water for the plant. Then the roots go deep down inside the earth for the search of water. Then the leaves are converted into the thorns to protect it from the animals and to prevent the loss of water. Then these plants will have no stem, so the food will made by the these plants do not have the leaves, so the food will be made by the stem. Clear? This was what we had discussed about the desert. Now coming to the grassland. Now this, as from the word only you can know a grassland. The grassland are mainly covered with the long thick grasses. Here the more amount of grasses grows. The temperate grasslands are the have hot summers and cool winters. Again, here the summers will be very hot and the winters will be cold, but not just like a taiga region. It will be a little bit warmer than the taiga region. So the rainfall is uncertain and the drought is common. Drought यानी जो सूखा होता है. So as in India also the rain is never certain. कभी भी बारिश आती है, कभी in some years it rains heavily, some year it doesn't rain. So drought is common means सूखा it's always there. So it depends upon the rainy season. The major grasslands are prairies, savanna and steppe. These are the different grasslands areas. Now the roots of prairie grass extend deeply into the ground to absorb the much moisture as they can. As already I explained you, the atmosphere is such that it may rain or the drought is very common. The rainfall is not certain, so the roots have to go deep inside to get the water. The extensive root system prevents the grazing away animals by pulling out the root of the ground. As the roots are very deep inside, so the animals eating they cannot pull out the plant just like a grass that grows in your lawn. This grass is different that grows in your lawn, and the grass that grows in a grassland are they are taller and the roots are also very deeper. So the animals grazing in these areas they can only eat the leaves, but they cannot pull out the roots as the roots are gone deep inside. The prairies grass have narrow leaves that lose lesser water and the broad leaves. Here these grasslands they do not have the big leaves, so here the leaves are also small in size to prevent the loss of water. Now coming to the next, grasses grow from the nearby their base, so that is a base. Now it will not take a lot of branches, it will grow just near to the north. All the leaves will grow very close to each other. Thus, they are not permanently damaged by the grazing or grazing animals of fire. Now, how these areas also, if they become very dry, they can easily catch the fire. You might have seen the forest fire of Australia, you might be knowing. Yes, so here what happens due to the friction of the dry leaves, sometimes the fire forest also may be there. So here the roots are